I was gonna say that.
I don't own anything white.
No.
It's the least flattering color. No thanks.
White tie. White hat, because, my head's too bald. For
You be the black sheep.
Rebel.
black sheep, yeah.
For real. I'll wear white boots and white glasses. That'll
That-
That'll
white as I
suffice.
get.
My wife has a really nice white dress that she just got.
Oh, that's my office.
Your
Where?
whole office?
On the left.
Wake Art.
Yep.
Where's your office at?
Academy, Realtor Row. We just moved
Realtor
there
Row, yeah.
like
Oh,
2
nice.
weeks ago. 2 months ago. It's a nice space.
That's where I'm staying at.
It's nice.
It's a little bit on the road though, like
Oh, that's
near
cool.
Sprouts. Across the street
Oh.
from Sprouts. Next to Scarpa's.
That's
Right next to
cool.
Scarpa's. Yeah.
That's cool.
But we're gonna be picking up that office on Wyoming and Comanche, across from Pokey Pokey, the old ERA.
Yep.
So we'll
I
move
saw
into
that.
that one this month.
We just moved right before that. I was
Yeah,
like,
you just
come
moved
on.
brokerages to Real, right?
Last March will be a year.
Wow.
Really?
Happened fast. We're
All
at
right, here we
20
go in about a minute, guys. I guess I don't have announcements either.
Where's the counter?
It's
Just kidding.
It's right there. It's sitting next to you.
you know the counter is only for pre-recorded events because it's never on time. There's Laura Harris watching us too, making sure we're on. All right. Hello, GAR members. How you guys doing this morning? Hope everyone is doing good. We're about to get started with the first Wednesday marketing workshop, Mastering Marketing. And we really set the bar high today, calling it Mastering Marketing. So these guys better have a stellar program for us. So no pressure, guys. No pressure. Marketing is one of those things that we all wish we were better at and is constantly changing every day with new technology, new strategies that it's just something that it's hard to stay on top on, but is vitally important for your business, whether it's in real estate or anything. We brought in this great panel of experts, who are in the business. Like Christian said, he's back to making transactions. So he has an edge of being a marketing master and has tips and tricks for you guys to get started. But again, my name is Julian Nunez. I'm the digital marketing and content specialist here at GAR. And I want to introduce our panelists today. We got Christian Manzer.
Yep, Manzer. I'm the marketing director for Weikert Realtors here in Albuquerque, and I've been a real estate broker for about 3 years.
Awesome. Henry Padilla.
Hey guys, Henry Padilla. I'm with Real Broker. I run the social team and I'm the growth leader for Real here in Albuquerque.
And Pete Stagel.
Good morning, everybody. I'm with Servant 360. I own a real estate marketing and photography company.
Marketing and photography, super important. So I did my research a little bit on these guys for you. I did a little pre-research, and I found a bunch of great things that they all do that really help them be successful marketers. And from creating quality videos to their social media presences and having knowledge of what it takes to sell a transaction is vitally important for their marketing. But we'll just kick it off with Christian. He has a few things for us today, and just take it away and go for it.
Awesome. So, like I said, it's a swipe.
It's a swipe. I told you the swipe works better, not the tap.
It's funny. Like I said, my name's Christian. I'm the marketing director for Weikert Realtors here in Albuquerque. Weikert Realtors Image, and I've been in the business for about almost 3 years. So I love what I do. I've worked in marketing for a majority of my professional career, so this is my favorite thing to do. I love to help brokers, whether they're new brokers or experienced brokers. Like I said, there's a lot of us out here, and there's a lot of brokers who have been in the business, and there's a lot of things that everybody does that's consistent and it works. There's a reason why a lot of us in the business, not myself, but a lot of other brokers have been here for years. Some of us even decades. Some of the realtors even decades. So my goal is not to say, hey, let's throw everything you know out the door. Let's not do that, because your business is working. I'd like to just give you some tips, tricks, and some things that are super easy for you to implement into your day-to-day schedule and implement into what you do every day. So I'm hoping that you guys can utilize these. I know that we have some great panelists and they have some great ideas too. So let's get started. So the first thing I have is a question for you guys. So how many home shoppers in the millennial generation do you guys know that begin their search in some form online?
100%.
Close. Do you guys think like 90?
It's
80?
up there.
What
I
would you
forgot
say?
what the NAR stat was last year, but
Yeah.
it's steadily been climbing. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
it is. So the millennial generation, it's 99%. So 99% of that generation. Now, why I specifically said the millennial generation is because that generation, they're in their peak home buying years right now. So if you look at the charts, depending on whoop whoop, if you look at whether it's NAR or these other statistic sites, they say the millennial generation is peak. It's almost to Gen Z, but so remember that. So when you're not using social media and not taking advantage of the internet, you are losing out on a big chunk of the market. And so we want to make sure we definitely do that. So my next question.
You can pick it up if you want.
Can I pick it up?
Yeah, you can.
Press anything on accident. So my next question is, sorry, I didn't know this was going to be a test for everybody, but if a new broker came up to you guys right now and said, hey, I'm getting started and I have to come up with a farming area, what would you say to that person?
Farming area. So that sounds like their spheres of influence.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing.
That's a good answer. Traditionally, a farming area, a lot of times brokerages will say it is a certain demographic that you want to hit, or it is a neighborhood. Maybe you live there. Maybe that you want to be the pro in that neighborhood. Some will say like, oh, it's between Spain and Academy and between Wantabo and Tramway. That's my hood. Or zip codes or demographics, anything like that. I think that's great. That is a great thing, and there's ways to market to that. But what I want to talk to you guys today about is a little bit different. I want to talk to you guys about social farming. Neighborhood farming, it's perfect for postcards, mailers. Everybody's done those. Door knocking, door hanging. Those are great ways to get business. Cold calling is another thing. Social farming is just a little bit different. Social farming, now, if you market to your social farm, which I'll go over what it is, just like neighborhoods, I promise you'll get blocked. If you post to your social networks every single day and message everybody, hey, do you want your complimentary market analysis? Do you want your, do you want your, let's get a home valuation. Let's get a, just sold. Let's do this. I promise you'll get blocked. I've been blocked before. Unsubscribe. Report. And we don't want that.
Mark as spam.
We don't want that. So
it is.
Exactly. It is spam. So when you're social farming, it's a little bit different. Now, what is your social farming area? Well, that's everybody that follows you and that you're friends with. And that's on any social platform, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything like that. Now, the way you reach out to those people is through engagement, posts, stories, and stuff like that. So now I want you guys to start focusing on that social farming. So now it's all about how you say things. So some people, like I said, will post, just sold, just listed, stuff like that. And that's great. But I want to focus on using selling you. So for example, text posts. Everybody has seen text posts. I'm a user of Twitter. I love Twitter. And not many people like Twitter these days, I guess.
I've never gotten a handle.
Never get into it.
Even years ago,
It's
I was
tough.
like,
It's more. I don't know. I've seen it as more
It's
as
an
like
interesting
for
community.
celebrities and stuff, but
Political.
yeah.
So I'm a celebrity? Just kidding.
Yeah.
Political
Yes, there you go.
celebrity.
Look at those glasses.
No,
How could
just
you
kidding.
not be?
Thanks. I love the glasses. So text posts are great, but the problem with text posts is it's up to everybody's imagination. Now, I love to read, like books, stories, news articles, stuff like that, and it's nice because the imagination, everything that I get from it, I imagine in my head. All I did was read text, and that's great. But we want to control the narrative and control what we're putting out there to our people. So here's an example: photo posts with text. If you post a photo with a nice caption, that's cool. You show what you're doing, you show what the environment's like, and that's great. But we can control that even more. There's a cool thing that everybody uses now called video, and video is absolutely amazing and important. If you think about the last time you watched a movie or watched a video, you got the sound, you experienced what they were experiencing, the environment. Was it super sunny and bright? Was it, in real estate terms, was it like an open house and there was a bunch of people there? Was the vibe awesome? Your followers in your sphere and your customers, they're experiencing that. So
If I chime in on
Yeah.
that. So I think like what you were saying, like it's up to your imagination and their imagination whenever it comes to the just sold or pending posts and stuff like that. What really matters when you do that, I think, is the caption. Reading it and creating the story behind the picture is what's going to really get people involved with it. Because I see that a lot too. It's just pending, just this and that. But it could really look like bragging if you don't give the story behind it, no matter how small, or you can make it as big as you want as well. And that's what really inclines people to follow you, is the story that you're building behind it. Oh, I got this first time home buyer in the house. We've been searching for 4 months. You know what I mean? He was really down and out on his last thing. And then we ended up finding a perfect house for him and his 2 little boys. And, they're so ecstatic and we're getting ready to go to the finish line. You know what I mean? Just like stories like that, they seem so common to us, but to the general public, that is a home run. And I think that's what's going to make a difference between it looking like bragging, like, oh, I'm selling all this real estate, than rather a person that's for the people, that's, helping them also write their stories.
Yeah, exactly. Consumer out there doesn't relate to just close, just close, just close. They relate to exactly what he said. I just helped my amazing friend and his fur babies get into their dream home, or I just helped my dear client of mine sell her house and get back to California to be with family. Those are those stories, and
It's a problem solution. It's they had a problem, and you guided them to the solution, and they can do the same for you. And just like you said, with your, having that imagination of going through, they can imagine themselves in that same story if it's a similar situation.
Totally. It's also important to read their reactions. With video, you can actually do that. People can read your reactions. They can see that I'm smiling and I'm loving what I'm doing and I'm so excited. But I don't know, a text and a photo, there's Photoshop, there's Facetune and stuff like that, but it's a little bit different when it's video. So I wanted to mention this as well. Everyone is right, however, and consistency is key. So I wanted to go over that because I'm pretty sure these amazing marketers have always said, consistency is key. Everybody I've ever met says consistency is key. Now, there's a lot of ways to do that. It's important for the algorithm, first of all, but it's important for your followers. Here's a couple stories. I have a friend of mine, and she posts real estate memes on Facebook all the time, probably once a day. And I expect her to be a part of my feed right now. I see her all the time, every single day. I'm like, oh, look, that's so funny. I want to share that, blah, blah. I also have another friend of mine that he goes camping every weekend with his family, and he posts on Saturday morning-ish photos of the mountains, his cabin, his family, and it's awesome. He only posts once a week, but he is a part of my feed. I expect him to. So by being consistent, it doesn't mean 10 times a day. A lot of Tom Ferry, one of my favorite real estate coaches that's out there, he says, in an ideal world, I would love it if all of my brokers or agents can post 10 videos a day. And that's
Not
not
realistic.
attainable for me.
Not realistic. for a
Something's
lot of
wrong with me if I'm posting 10 videos a day.
He's on one again.
So just think of that. That's a good goal for maybe 1% of the population, but come up with a goal for yourself and be consistent with what you actually can be consistent with. So whatever you can do it, and focus your time on where you like to spend your time. I have another question that I get asked all the time, whether it's new brokers, older brokers, and it's, what site should I start with? I get asked that probably every single, whether it's a meeting, whether it's a panel or anything like that. So what I do is I always ask them, I say, what social site do you guys open, or do you open first thing in the morning? So what about you guys? What is the first social media website app you guys open first thing in the morning? Facebook? Instagram?
Yeah, Facebook. I'd
Facebook?
say, yeah.
Twitter for me. Now, why I ask that is because it's great if you can have a perfect presence on every single social media site out there. That's amazing. Gold star. But that's not realistic for everybody. I know if you're spending your time, majority of your personal time on a certain site, that's where you should focus a majority of your energy. Now, a couple reasons is because you are already on there. You know how it works.
the nuances of each platform.
Exactly.
Like Twitter.
You know what?
Don't know Twitter.
No Twitter shaming up here. I promise you that you can't post the exact same thing on Twitter as you can on TikTok. They're just totally different. And if you've never used TikTok and you don't know how it works, you should definitely start learning how, but don't focus all of your time on using it. So if I have any suggestions or any tips for you, in a summary of everything that I went over, 99% of the millennial generation, they kind of shop online and they start their home search online in some form. So make sure you are taking advantage of that and reaching out to that 99%. In addition to that, make sure you're spending your time where you already spend your time. So focus on the sites that you focus on. Now, if the site you use has video, you should absolutely be doing video. 1,000% should be doing video. And
most sites have video at this point.
Most do. Most have the exact same short form vertical video. Now, don't be afraid. Just because a pimple popped up last week and you're still trying to cover it up, I still have some, which we're not going to look at. But nobody's paying attention to that. Nobody cares. And if people do care, then I think you need to not go on that social platform anymore, because people usually it's like I don't know, maybe OnlyFans. That's probably the only site that people really pick on your body like that. So don't focus on the little things. Just have fun, because people are smart these days, and if you're not having fun and you're not enjoying it, then you need to have fun with what
Be
you're
authentic.
doing.
Be you.
Authentic.
Be 100% you. Because all the people that are going to end up working with you like you because of you, and you don't want to fake a persona just to get a customer. And that's what a lot of people think you have to do online, is fake a persona to get a customer. But if people don't like you, that's not someone you want to work with anyways.
Absolutely. You're selling John Doe, realtor, not your business. Awesome.
Yeah, it's like those headshots from 20 years ago. When you show up and you look like who you are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Says the photographer over here.
Well,
Let's not face tuning our selfies.
it's just one of the reasons why video works so well, is that you can see
Absolutely.
who somebody is.
In real time.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, we'll jump in more about, content when we get to Pete. He's just brimming full of knowledge over there, waiting to get out. I can't wait to get over there. But yeah, Christian, that's great. Being authentic and focusing on what works for you and what you're involved in is a super great strategy that a lot of people. It's super simple, as you said, and they just got to do it and not be focused on the negativity or on trying to make it perfect.
Right.
Making imperfect actions is it's a mantra that I like to live by, where even though it's not perfect, I just get it out there and do it, and 95% is completion is good enough for me. So.
Totally. And I am me. Henry's Henry, Pete is Pete. And so I could give you a million reasons on, or a million examples of what I do for my social media that works, and Henry could give a million reasons why his social media works. But I promise you, if I get on his profiles and start doing what I do, everyone is going to be like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's suspicious. That's a little sus. So it's going to be different. And that's exactly my point is you're selling you. So whatever your name is, whatever your name shows up on that Zoom, list, that's who you're selling to your social media sphere and your social farming area.
100%.
Excellent. We will do a Q&A at the end, so if you guys have any good questions, make sure you're writing them down so that we can we'll have a little talk at the end and get you guys' question answered. In the meantime, we'll jump over to Henry.
All right. Hey, guys. Well, first off, appreciate everybody jumping on. I think there's like almost 60 people in here. See a few people I know. Lobo Joe, Natasha Grant, Antonette Baca, Alexis Pinter. Good morning, everybody. But yeah, so I run the team, the social team. Obviously, the main correlation there is I'm a huge advocate for social media. I've been using it since literally the first day that I started with real estate, and I think that's what really expedited, my success in this business. And I that's what I try to tell people too is, or even going back to what Christian said, like your stuff could still be working, if it's not in the digital age that we're doing now, your stuff could still be working. Of course, it still worked. But the fact and the most useful part of digital marketing and social media marketing is you're compressing time. What took people typically 5 years to do is now only going to take you 2 to 3 because of the potential reach that you could have with social media. So I kind of wanted to just run you guys through my story and through the actual results that I've gotten with using social media, because that's the whole point, right? We're trying to get business here from social media, meet more clients, make more money, create a better brand, and create a community. So ever since I started, like I said, I was just full on out. New headshots, doing a video, letting people know who I am, giving people an introduction. Hey, I'm Henry Padilla with this brokerage, blah, blah, blah. This is what I could do to service you. Just like your own little commercial, you know what I mean? And just having that in your back pocket to post on social media and give out to other people. And then over time, you kind of just start getting into giving tips through video with people. You start doing little property tours and stuff like that. And we started doing property tours on even pushing to $1 million houses, which we were just marketing for other people. You know what I mean? So even if you're newer in the business, you could use other people's listings as long as you get their permission and the seller's permission, just to kind of start getting that idea out there that you're the real estate person. This is what you do. Because before I was in real estate, believe it or not, I was in bodybuilding. I was a professional bodybuilder. So everybody on social media knew me as Henry the bodybuilder. So I was like, what can I do to eliminate that persona of myself? Because this is my TV show. I'm going to do everything I can out there to name myself as Henry Padilla the realtor instead. So I went through my whole entire social media. I deleted over 600 posts and pictures through Instagram and Facebook and completely deleted that persona because it didn't serve me, right? So started just posting everything that had to do with real estate because I was all in. I'm like, I am that person. I am all out. That is my identity. You know what I mean? And over time, people only started identifying me as Henry, the real estate guy, which my Instagram is Henry the Realtor Dude. So just going all in on something, and I'm, of course, the extreme version of it. Like I said, it compressed time for me, and it allowed me to make a lot of connections and a lot of new clients, and honestly, a great community. And that's what I realized over time is, just like Christian said, I was being myself the whole freaking time. If I was being goofy, if I was being weird, or if I was being serious, whatever it may be, I was documenting everything that I was doing, all the trips I was doing, for real estate events, even life stuff, going out to eat, whatever it may be. Because, like I said, it's just like your TV show. And you could do it to the full extent of where I do it, and you're documenting freaking everything. But it allows you to create a great community, right? And you're bringing and you're attracting the people that want to work with you. And those are really the people that end up, giving you the referral business at a much higher and quicker accelerator rate compared to, pretty much anything else. You know what I mean? Because you're latching them in. You don't even have to call this person. They see you on Facebook every day. You know what I mean? They see you on Instagram. You guys could send each other stuff. You're commenting on their stuff. So the interaction, the relationship, and the relatability is just multiplied times 100 compared to just putting it in your calendar and following up with that client, every 6 months, every 3 months. Hey, how you doing? Good, good. How are you? Good, good. You know what I mean? It really unlocks that human level. You know what I mean? And a lot of people think like, oh, it's disconnecting us. I think it's making us a lot more connected than ever, because they're seeing your day-to-day life. They're seeing what makes Henry Henry. You know what I mean? They're seeing what makes Julian Julian, Christian Christian, Pete Pete. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what's the most important thing. But obviously you got to follow through and meet these people and continue to develop these relationships. So yeah, so that's kind of like my story with it. Is I went all in on it. I've created a great community, and I've produced a lot of real estate through it because people trusted me. People trusted me to help them with the biggest transaction of their life, just like every single one of you guys on there. And it all comes with the little cheat code that we have now on our phone that everybody has. You know what I mean?
And that's one of the things I like when I was checking you out online, Henry, is you, like you said, you curate kind of what you post out there. And I've seen, I saw you doing videos on YouTube where you were showing, you were like out at a horse kind of charity thing.
Yeah.
I think you were out there like riding horses and stuff. Look at this guy. Like he's over there riding horses, doing the whole thing. And it just showed, you're showing, the positivity of what that charity did, but you're showing like a lifestyle, and what you said earlier, showing everything that you were doing and recording it all with your phone. That's one of the biggest tools you have, taking pictures. You're producing content, and a lot of people cringe when you hear that word. Oh, I'm a content creator. I produce content.
Yeah.
But really, that's what what we do. Kind of take a picture of your food before you even eat it, because again, that's like, hey, check out this restaurant, showing that you're an expert kind of in the community, and you're out there doing things in your community, giving back, and probably even giving recommendations. Hey, like, this was a great burrito. You guys should come check it out.
Yeah.
So I really like that about kind of your strategy and what you do.
Thank you. And honestly, that works. People make fun of me all the time for taking photos of my food, but you post it on your story and somebody's like, oh my God, where did you get that? Ding. You just started a new conversation. Absolutely. Right there. Oh my God, I just got it over here. You know what I mean? I've just been working all day and like this and that, and went to go get a snack over here, and like it was super delicious. Started a new conversation for free just because you posted a freaking burrito on your story. It sounds so small, but I keep, expressing this, but guys, this is your TV show. Don't be ashamed of posting the stuff that you're doing. Of course, keep a privacy to a certain extent that you want. Me, I personally don't. I don't technically whine on there, but that's a lot of things too. Is people do go on there and they share a little bit too much. It's because if you're just complaining, that's an issue. But if you have a problem and you're looking forward to a solution, or you found a solution through a hardship, people love that, because now you created relatability. You're not just bringing on a highlight reel, and you're not just showing people like, oh, I have the perfect realtor fancy life. You know what I mean? I'm just selling houses left and right. No, there's stuff that has happened in my family. There's like whatever it may be, you know what I mean? Just something that people can relate to through hardship, because that's what brings us together is hardship. And now you're creating a stronger community, rather than I'm, like I said, just Mr. Fancy Realtor doing this and that, having the best life ever, which is not true for anybody. And that's a lie.
Real.
Yeah.
You posted a couple of things there, and I'm sure that your community rallied around you because of the hardship that you posted and the things that were going on in your life. It wasn't just all rainbows and unicorns.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, for example, like I took people through the whole process of whenever my grandma passed. Literally everybody knew how close I was to my grandma because I always posted about her. The amount of people that came together with my community with that, like we had a GoFundMe that I posted. Everybody shared it, did over 10,000. It got on the news. We got help from the Red Cross because people started reaching out. We got my grandpa an apartment, you know what I mean? So it was just like, it was such a rally. And that's what made me realize, like, all this 3 years of hard work of posting on social media was a lot more than me getting a client. It was people that were willing to support me and my family during a very, very hard time. You know what I mean? And that's what really made me realize, like, this is a lot stronger than people think. You know what I mean? This is something that is wholeheartedly, something that I cherish at this point. You know what I mean? Because I feel like everybody that I have on social media, I really do appreciate them. And the crazy thing too is, like, I even get referrals on there from people that I don't even know I have on social media, but they're watching. You know what I mean? There's people sometimes they never comment or like or anything like that, which is kind of weird. But they're like, hey, I see your stuff all the time. I'm like, well, what the heck? You know what I mean? go like
Ghost
something.
followers.
Yeah, exactly. But those are usually the ones that are most engaged. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, I've seen this, I've seen that.
Yep.
So you never know who's watching. You know what I mean? So yeah, social media is great, guys. So I just wanted to really press on the importance of it and what it can do to change your life more than just numbers in real estate. You know what I mean? It's a community. It's truly a community, just like any other business is trying to build. But
It's social.
yeah, exactly.
Think
That's the whole
about
part
that.
of it.
Right?
You got to keep it there. But yeah, guys, so I wanted to kind of get into a little bit more of the tools and application of things. Of course, let's get a little bit more precise. So just like Christian was saying, video is the all-time most important thing to do right now. Do you need a professional videographer to do anything on social media? No, you just need your phone. Over time, you can start getting into that more. I've been doing, a little bit more phone, switching back to phone stuff now. People love that organic stuff, that authentic stuff. There's always a place for professional work, of course, 110,000%. But what do I mean when I say video? Everybody's like, do video, do video, do video. You know what I mean? There's a lot of options here. You could literally do a video of you at an open house inviting people over. You know what I mean? You could do a video on your story of your day-to-day doing showings. You could sit down and do a little update with your lender on, what the new program is, 25K grant or whatever, special incentive, blah, blah, blah. You could go do a video with the lender on what incentives they're doing. You could do a video kind of relaxing your audience and letting them know the market's not crashing. If it was, why does that house have 5 offers on it? You know what I mean? It's not crashing here. You know what I mean? So it's up to you to be the TV show for your community to be able to express that. And it extends a lot more too. Like what I love doing is just speaking about my life and motivation and my hardships. So I'm always posting videos about that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, guys, this is what I went through like back in my past and blah, blah, blah. And like, I hope you guys could relate because if I can do it, you can do it too. So don't be afraid to like let people know who you are, into your life because that's where you're going to build the strongest community at. But there's such a variety on videos that you can do. But where does it start, right? Because everyone's like, like Christian was saying, like, what do I look like? I don't want them to judge me. You know what I mean? Like,
We all think it sometimes.
no, 100%.
But
Me
you
too.
go about your day and you're going to the store, you're going to the office.
Exactly.
You're going out in public looking the way you do.
Exactly.
But it's not going to stay there forever. Like online.
Quite
Anyway.
frankly, social media doesn't either. It's a 24-hour feed.
True.
Very true.
But yeah, guys. So whenever it comes to video, literally, if I could just give you something tactical, just start. Put the video right there and just be like, hey guys, want to invite you guys to my open house. Hey guys, quick market update. Just put it right there. The first take you do, post it. Even if you mess up, just post it. Because if not, you're going to get into a repetitive state of wanting to be a perfectionist. I know we all are, and we repeat stuff over and over again. Just post it. Guys, even if you make a little funny blooper, people actually like bloopers more, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because they
Yep.
laugh like all heck on those things.
People on social media to be entertained mostly. It's a break from their day, and so if you can post something that's relevant to your business and is funny, it's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly. So don't take yourself too serious on social media either. You know what I mean? You're just trying to make friends on there. You're just trying to build a community. I'm going to say that a million times because that's exactly what it is building the community on there. So if you could start doing that by letting people know who you are through video, by all those examples that I made, you start going to inching out and be like, hey, John, Billy just reached out to me on Facebook because that video that I just posted. And then now you got $400,000 transaction and bam, right there. You know what I mean? Like out of nowhere. And you'll start seeing it, but it takes work. You know what I mean? It takes work over time. And I'm sure you get that a lot. It's like, it's time consuming. It's, it's just, I don't have time for it. Like, what do you tell the people like that?
People who say that, I just say, it's part of your job. Like, as a realtor, my job is I have to do my cold calling, I have to do my door knocking, I have to do my transactions, I have to do my paperwork, I have to do my social media. That's part of it. And so if you get out of the mindset like, oh, I'm just on Facebook, to, oh, I am social farming, this is part of my job, is I have to do this, then it'll pay off in your head when you're getting these transactions, and it finally makes sense that you are making money from this. I wanted to add to something. He mentioned like getting with your lender and stuff like that. It's not by yourself. You don't have to be by yourself. There's a million other people, and our industry isn't just realtors. And you have the support, and you have the other people that can help you, whether it's the videos or anything like that.
100%. What do you get whenever people tell you that? Too time consuming, Pete.
So
Can't do it.
well, like Christian said, it's part of your job. Years ago it was a lot more door knocking, a lot more cold calling, a lot more, all of that type of stuff. And the way I look at social media is that it kind of takes the place of a lot of that. Not entirely, but you can be in front of people so much more often with social media, and it's not time consuming. It's just something you need to do. When you look at something that's free, and a lot of people look at social media as free because it doesn't cost anything necessarily. They devalue it. They think that it's not worth anything because I'm not paying anything, so they don't put much effort into it. But when you look at it from a standpoint where you're spending your time, sometimes you're spending money with video editing or VAs creating posts for you and stuff like that. But it's something that you need to do and you need to put effort into in order to reap the return.
Yeah, it's so funny. My QB, when I first started real estate, he has this thing about marketing and budgeting, and he goes over how you spend your money and how you spend your time, and it's really cool. He separates different things, like some things cost money, some like buying leads or buying door hangers, buying this, that costs money. But there's other things you can do for your business that cost time, and it costs less money, sometimes zero, and social media is exactly one of those. You can still grow your business spending $0 on the other stuff, but instead you're investing your time into social media.
I was literally just thinking that because it like Pete was saying, I think people get frustrated is because how am I calculating my ROI? People pay $300 for one video, they don't get nothing from it, so they think, they're calculating their ROI off of one thing, and that's not how social media works. Mm-hmm. You're calculating your ROI about with how strong your community is, and when you build a strong community through trust, and what does trust take? Time. Mm-hmm. So over a period of time, that's whenever you could start calculating ROI. And of course, your sales will start increasing, and then you'll still really start seeing like, okay, a lot of my business coming from social media. Me personally, about 65% of my business comes from social media.
That's excellent.
Just referrals and stuff like that. And we're doing paid ads now too, because it's like if we're gonna go all out, we're gonna be all over Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. So there's so many different ways to use it too. Because even if you don't want to be a social person on social media, you could use it as a tool to just post ads. You know what I mean? Like my best ads that work for me is just listed. Here's the property, super nice property. Here's the stats about it. And then you just put it up for one day. You know what I mean? Just put a few $100 on it. My last post did 19,000 in reach, 78 messages. And out of those 78 messages, we asked for their phone number. I think about 35 people gave us their phone number. Got a $650,000 buyer, got another $500,000 buyer. The $650,000 buyer was my buddy who saw my post on my page. So I was like, why didn't you reach out to me in the first place? But no, so
it was just that one more interaction, one more post that pushed him over the edge. It's like, you know what? It was the right time at the right place. And he said, hey, I do need to reach out to you.
100%. What's frustrating is a lot of people, they hear things like this and they think social media is their silver bullet. And they don't realize that you've been putting in the time and you've been growing this. So don't think of social media as a silver bullet where you do it once and it's going to automatically fix all your marketing problems. It's something that
goes back to consistency.
Yeah,
you
got to be consistent. Invest your time and use it as the tool that it is, and use it to do the right things. As like you don't use a hammer to cut a piece of wood. So you use your tools,
and it's a new tool. It used to be that you had a phone book, you go down and look up stuff there. Now you have the internet. Now you have the different things like that, and so it's just a new way of doing things. Taking the same experience you've had in the past, if you've been doing this for 20 years, you're just taking some of the stuff that you have done, and move it to something that's new that is going to engage the new generation of buyers.
A few brokers in my office are actually getting transactions now from social media, and it's interesting because they didn't start social media like a week before. They started consistently posting all of this. They started being online like a year before, like 6 months before, and now is when it's paying off. So that 6 months of investing your time, now it's when it's paying off. So exactly that. It's not instant. It takes time.
And it does that with anything in sales. It's all about filling the pipeline and prospecting and all of that type of thing. And in real estate, it's filling the mind share of your followers of, hey, you're in real estate. Hey, you're in real estate. But not in their face all the time. That way, when they're ready to buy or sell and they're ready to make that move, you're the top of mind.
Exactly. And guys, if you can farm a neighborhood, for multiple years on end, you can do social media. You could do it with 2 hours a week. It's not extremely time consuming if you actually start having a plan. If you reach out, literally probably to any of us, we'll be able to help you out, you know what I mean, for free, no cost, because it's like, guys, we need to all just be able to help each other, because there's not a lot of people that do use and utilize social media in town, which is why, too, if you're doing Facebook ads and Instagram ads, the cost per lead is so low, because the way that Facebook and Instagram work with their advertisement, it's a bidding. So then they bid your ad against other people that are in the same work category. So, we're in housing and real estate. Mm-hmm. So there's not many people that you're bidding against. So our cost per lead compared to like Vegas is so freaking low, guys, mm-hmm. that it's just super undersaturated. And, if I was to see more social media or people on social media, I wouldn't complain at all, because you're going to build your community. I'm going to build my community. So don't ever think that you'll be taken away from someone else by reaching out for help, because a lot of this stuff is going to be, super complicated to compress when we're done with this. But it's all about asking questions and reaching out and be like, what exactly do I do, and what is my first step? And if you're able to find a community of even realtors in real life to be able to help you guys, it's the same kind of synergy that you're going to be able to relate to on social media. Mm-hmm. So it's all a synergy, guys.
It's all about elevating the industry.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Real estate's a really interesting industry. I've been in a lot of different places, a lot of different industries in sales and marketing, and no other industry do you work hand in hand with your competitors.
Yep.
And it's because you don't really have competitors.
Hand in hand. You hear that?
Because, you have a sphere, you have a sphere. Mm-hmm. The likelihood that your spheres overlap is very slim.
Mm-hmm. That's what I tell people. I'm like, the chances of us going on the same listing appointment out of all 5,000 brokers, it's so slim. Mm-hmm. It could happen for sure, but it's so slim, so might as well just help each other out, especially when it comes to this kind of marketing. But yeah, so a little bit more context, guys. So which one is the most useful and most important? Instagram and Facebook. But before I get started on mine, what do you prefer, Facebook or Instagram?
I have it's changed a little bit.
I was gonna say Twitter.
Twitter.
Instagram or Facebook? Twitter.
It's changed a little bit. And it's hard for me to give an answer, because I know they're both owned by Meta. They both have similar everything, but for me, they are so different, and they have entirely different. I don't do the same thing on Facebook as I do Instagram. Instagram, it's all about full screen videos, photos, and showing my life. In Facebook, it's a little bit more relaxed, and I can connect with old friends, and it's like a closer sphere, a closer group of people. And then Instagram it's bigger. It's people follow you because they want to see you. So, this week maybe Instagram, but next week it'll probably be Facebook.
You, Pete?
I think it depends on where your target market is at that point. I prefer Instagram just because I like the way the feed works. I like the way that the different pieces are. You've got your stories, which I know you've got on Facebook, but it's a little bit different experience on Facebook. You tend to have a younger demographic on Instagram than you do on Facebook. Not exclusively, obviously. You say you're mostly on Facebook, and so you're not just going after an older demographic. It's you're going after your friends and family. I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Facebook has been around longer, and so they tend to have an older demographic. But again, these are averages and not exclusive. I like Instagram. I think there's a lot of the feed's different. You can get a little bit more reach, I believe, with a lot of the different features than you can on Facebook. Especially as soon as you tell Facebook that you're a business, your reach kind of it's like, oh, good. Where's your wallet?
Exactly.
You want reach? I'll
pay for it.
And so I'm on Instagram. This is my primary.
Nice. I think it's honestly what you're trying to get at is like whatever works for you. You know what I mean? Whatever works for you is the one that you should focus on. I would suggest definitely focus on both. But the way that I could kind of decipher each one is Facebook is very hyper local. That's where your real community is going to get built. And Facebook focuses on text posts and pictures. That's what resonates the best on there. Sometimes videos will pop off for sure, but a lot of people are going to focus on the text posts and the pictures on Facebook. And then when it comes to Instagram, 110% video, but Instagram is a lot more reachable all across the country, all across the world. So you will start building a following on there, but it's a little bit more geared towards vanity, I would say. Because I've gotten maybe one deal from Instagram, but everybody says they see me on Instagram. They don't say they see me on Facebook, which is very weird. But I think it's just more vanity on Instagram, what it seems like, and then on Facebook is where people really connect, and that's where I get the messages and the DMs and stuff like that. So that's kind of like where I decipher each one. But there's definitely people, realtors, that just pop off on Instagram and they're just hauling in money. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's whatever works for you and whatever you feel like you can really put out the best content to create the best community that's gonna benefit you in some way. So you're not just just kicking the wall at that point.
Yeah, and Facebook and Instagram, if you think about it, like Facebook, there's call to actions that you can implement. Click here, learn more, open. And Instagram is you got the one link in the bio. And if you're not using that correctly, with the link tree or something that gives them multiple options, then even then, and if you take that too far, then there's too many links from the one link. So, they both offer a little bit different. And, Instagram.
There's a reason they both exist.
Yeah. And owned by the same company.
Yeah,
exactly.
If they were the same tool, then why would one company own both? But like what Henry said, Instagram feels real vain, but you connect with you could connect with newer people, and one of the things when I see people using Instagram is what gets me is when they use the hashtags wrong. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. It's like you're using the hashtag wrong, sorry.
Yeah, I'm judging you.
Yeah, hashtag. No, but but because you could connect with local audiences through Instagram by tagging your location and by using the appropriate hashtags. Hashtag Albuquerque. Hashtag Indem Homes. Hashtag Real Estate. Hashtag Realtor. Just things like that. If you just think about what a hashtag is and what people do, because people spend their time scrolling these hashtags, scrolling Albuquerque, scrolling New Mexico. Following.
I know I follow several hashtags.
Absolutely.
And I find new realtors to connect with by following those hashtags, and it's like, oh, cool, that's an interesting post.
Absolutely, and you follow them to engage with them because you're liking their posts on Instagram and Facebook. You're commenting, thumbs up, giving them reactions. That way, you show that engagement, and they go, "Who is this guy?" And they're going to click on your profile, and there you are. It's your shiny pearly white. It's like, hey,
and then all of a sudden, they're an hour deep, going binge watching all of your videos, and they call you up and say, "Hey, can you sell my house?" Because they feel like they know you already.
Absolutely,
100%. Well, I'll just run through the conclusion real quick, and then we'll get on to Pete. But my conclusion is just kind of, guys, this is your TV show. I keep expressing that because seriously, it's 100% your TV show. You're the director, you're the producer, you're the actor in it. So use it to the fullest extent. So will you use organic social media or the paid ad approach? Me personally, the reason I'm so heavily invested into social media is because I cannot cold call and I do not like being yelled at. So that is my biggest terror of doing real estate, which I know a lot of you guys are probably amazing at. I can't. I still, pay for leads, do Zillow, Facebook and stuff like that. But obviously it's much more easier to make that connection. And then of course people message me on here. That's honestly my crutch. I can't do it. People on my team are great. I pass over the leads to them. You know what I mean? We're not going to be great at everything. We're not going to be great at everything. But if you could find some kind of comfort, which I would rather do this and do a lot of videos and stuff like that than do any kind of cold calling, then, that's what I'm going all in on. You know what I mean? And don't shame yourself either if like social media doesn't work out. Then just go 3 times on what already works. You know what I mean? So I do highly suggest it, but we could always get paralysis by analysis, which is a lot more negative than,
Definitely.
Yeah, than anything else. So it's just like, definitely try it, guys. Just try it. Just try it. Whether it's paid ads or organic social media. You don't have to be super extroverted. I still get a big shyness all the time. You'll see me at a party or anywhere else in public. I still freak out going up to somebody. You know what I mean? But when it comes to having an authentic conversation with somebody in person, I'm all in. You know what I mean? So all of our personality types are going to be represented in some different way, but at least just give social media a shot.
We've all wasted our time on worse things, so why not try and waste a few minutes if you don't think it's going to do well, and just trying out social media.
100%.
Awesome, Henry. Good stuff there. Lots to take in. It's just with all the tools available, it's great just to focus in on the things that are important and do that to kind of multiply yourself. But we're moving on to Pete. Lay it on us, Pete.
So I actually want to. No, I got.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to touch on your TV show thing there for a minute. When it comes to video, we live in an interesting time. Years ago, it used to be that the only people who were on video were people on the news, movies, TV shows, people who were important. And we have a fairly short window here in this generation where most of us have not grown up with video being something that everybody can do. And when people see somebody on video, they still have that ideal that they must be important. They must have something important to say because they're on video, they're on TV, and it's a awesome way to convey who you are, what you're doing, what you're about, and it's great that you're calling it a TV show because it's an interesting time to live in. The upcoming generation has come up with tablets and phones, and they're watching videos all the time, and it's becoming less and less of a out of the ordinary type of thing. I take social media and marketing to a little bit differently in that a lot of people it's a spray and pray method of just put a whole bunch of stuff out there and try to get a reaction, get people engaged and do that. But ultimately, I like to go back to the basics, and the basics of marketing in general is that you have to have a target market, and if you don't know who you're talking to and who you want to work with, then everything that you put out there is going to be inconsistent. We talked about consistency, and it was mainly on consistently posting, but you consistently want to put this similar type of content out so that people know what they're going to get from you. There's a great example of, if you go to a fine dining restaurant and, you had a great experience and it was just awesome. Then you go back the next time and they serve you Taco Bell.
What's wrong with Taco Bell? First of all,
it's not consistent. They're like, hang on, I thought this was a fine dining restaurant. Why am I getting Taco Bell? This is not what I wanted. And when you consistently show up in the same way, and I'm not saying that you always have to do the same thing over and over and again, but you're consistently talking about real estate and your hobbies and your family, but consistently showing up in that way, then people get to know, like, and trust you with that.
They expect that.
They expect it, exactly. And it just again gains that mind share in their head of, well, this is who you are, this is what you do, and when it's time to buy or sell, they're gonna think of you. And so I like to zero in on who you like to work with first, and then you go with your sphere, and then you build a brand around that. That's who you are and how you're perceived by your audience at that point. And then you put lead gen and ads and stuff like that on top of that. Once you've dialed in who it is you like to work with, it's very interesting because a lot of people will say, "Well, I like to work with anybody." Well, anybody with a pulse is not your target market. You want to work with people that align with your values, that align with your knowledge base. If you've never worked with a luxury buyer, and you're gonna stumble that first couple of times, realistically, and so you want somebody who's going to, or they want somebody who's knows what they're doing, and so you want to work with people, and obviously you want to stretch and you want to expand and challenge yourself, but you still need to work with people that you like to work with. And so what I like to do with a lot of my clients when I'm talking about building their brand and building their finding who their target market is analyze their past clients. Who did they like working with in the past? Where did they come from? What did they what demographic? What were they? What neighborhoods? What do they all have in common? And when you start boiling that down, you'll start realizing that there's some people that you don't want to work with, and that's okay.
True.
Not everybody is for everybody.
There's enough realtors out there.
There are, and there's
personality.
people with more expertise in certain areas and more patience with certain areas. Not everybody is cut out to be that hand-holding of the first-time home buyer and going through every question, constantly having phone calls. And not everybody is cut out for the luxury buyer who is, quite frankly, very different than a first-time home buyer, typically. And we can go into even more deeper than that, like probate or even expired listings or any of that type of stuff. There's a lot of different nuances between these different targets and different things. There's a lot of things that you need to know. There's a lot of things that you need to be able to be confident in order to work with these people. And so, there's a first-time home buyers, new construction. There's a ton of different targets that you can do, but once you find who you like to work with, then it's much easier to create content and be on social media talking to them, because you don't want to just create content just for the sake of creating content. You want to create content that speaks to people and specifically speaks to your target market. It's very interesting how many people are just out there trying to get new people all the time, where if they just worked their sphere, if they just worked their social farm, there's a ton of business that can be gained just from that. It's a long-term strategy. It's not a short-term, which running an ad is much more short-term. Buying a lead off of Zillow or Realtor.com is very short-term. Flash in the pan. You pay money, you get a lead, you get a sale, theoretically. But you need to be able to build that know, like, and trust, and build that long-term relationship and community, so that people are referring you, and you build that longer build book of business. And so once you have your niche, then you build your brand around that, and that's who you show up as. You show up as the social guy. You show up as yellow
glasses.
Yellow glasses. Always.
I see the Weichert office getting happy over there, throwing their hands up. A lot of yellow on screen.
My brand is all about education. I'm always educating on how to use the content we create, and also building your brand and helping you as the realtor do better business, because I know that the more business that you do, the more business I'll do. And so there's a big distinction on building a brand. A lot of people think it's just the your logo or your tagline or your colors. No offense. It's not just that. It is part of
you.
that. It is, but it's you. It's who you are authentically, how you show up, and it's how people perceive you, and it's what makes you stand out amongst all the other realtors. I mean, there's 5,000 realtors, but every one of them's different. They all aren't going to have the same sphere. They're all not going to have the same expertise and the same demeanor and the same hobbies and connection with everybody. And so once you define your niche, you know who you're talking to, then you can create that strong visual identity. Yellow stands out. It really does. But that's your brand, is yellow, and you wear it all the time.
All the time.
All the time. But you find that visual identity, whether it be your logo and all of that stuff, that's part of it. But that way it's instantly recognizable. But it's not all of that. Developing a consistent message and tone. If anybody follows me on social media, they know that I'm constantly putting out videos, constantly talking about marketing, and it's a very consistent message, very consistent tone. I'm not necessarily always going to have funny content because that's not who I am. But occasionally I have something there. But it's consistent. I'm always saying the same thing. I'm never giving you a fine dining experience and then Taco Bell the next day. It's a very consistent message. And creating valuable content is a big part of that. I'm always talking about how best to do this or that, and I'm always learning from other people and sharing what I learn on my social media so that people can take tidbits and do all sorts of stuff with it. It's crazy when I'm at a networking event or anything like that, and people come up to me and they say, "Hey, we need to sit down for a marketing." It's like, "Who are you?" It's like, "I follow you on social media." Cool. Let's do it. Now, who are you? Because they can pick me out of a crowd, and they come over to me because they're seeing me on social media. They're seeing the content I'm putting out there, and it resonates with them, and they say, "I want to know more." And I do that a lot with video, because video, like we've said before, it's an interesting time, and it establishes credibility really quick if you're on video, because people can make that connection. They can see your body language. They can see and hear you, and no other medium is like that. The podcast is just audio typically. Pictures are still images, and they, like you said earlier, they can be photoshopped. They can be altered beyond recognition at this point. And people have lost their trust in image necessarily. But with video, it allows for a personal connection really quick, because they can see you, they can hear you, they can see your demeanor, they can see your body language.
They step into that world, into your world.
Yeah. And it goes back to, like I was saying, people in our generation and just knows if you're on video, you're somebody important, and so they're paying attention to you. And quite frankly, it differentiates you from other realtors, because as much as everybody's been saying video, not everybody is using video. I mean, you guys are, and that's why you're on the panel, quite frankly. But a lot of realtors are not using video, and they're not using video correctly if they are using it a lot of times. They'll post a video, and it'll just be of the house. Well, you need to build your brand. Your brand is going to be your face. You need to put your face in the video. Even just for a few seconds, just say, "Hey, I'm at this new listing," and then you turn the camera around and go show the listing.
That's key, 100%. If you could take one tip, don't just do the videos where it just shows a house and it plays music in the background. Hey, this is Henry Padilla with Real Broker. Wanted to show you guys this amazing property over here in the Northwest, 4-bed, 3-bath, $350,000. Check it out. Even if you want to just go to that extent, you don't want to do a full property tour, that will make all the difference. Show your face.
It's showing your face and showing that you're showing up all the time as a realtor, and this is what you're doing. And part of your brand is your face. Part of your brand is how you show up with your clients.
It's the next closest thing to being in person, to being face to face with them.
Yeah, and there's a ton of different things you can do on video. That we've covered a couple of them before with interviews with lenders, interviews with title, interview your roofing guy, your plumber, your electrician. They'll love to have the exposure. Interview the local bar owner, the local restaurant, the local little boutique shop. All of that stuff in your farm area or where the area that you like to be, and you can do a lot of interviews there and a lot of chatting them up. A lot of times they'll share it on their social media, you'll share it, and then you'll get even more reach on it and whatnot. But there's a ton of things. You're going over the different processes: home buying, home selling, whatever it is you're looking for, whatever your target market is. You just put content out there about what it is you're doing. I always love having testimonial stories where it's not just just listed, just sold. Nobody likes that. Like you were saying earlier, it just shows, hey, I just made money. They're like, okay, good for you. Now, what's in it for me? Why do I care?
How did you change my life as a consumer?
Exactly, and you didn't by posting a just listed, just sold. But when you tell about the story of you just helped this client who didn't think that it was possible, or didn't they had some problem. And everybody has a problem. If you're selling or buying a house, they have a problem. The problem is that they need to be, in a new place for whatever reason. and you tell the story of how that happened. Obviously, you don't get into personal details, but you tell the story of how that happened. Even better if you can get the buyer or seller to be on camera with you.
That's always a tough pitch.
It is.
Hey, could you tell me about the buying experience?
Yeah, but it's always better if you can.
Yeah.
And if you can get somebody to kind of interview them and say what was it like about working with what was your problem? How did we help you solve it? Those go over so much better because now you're telling a personal story, and it's people want that personal connection, and they can connect with a story rather than a image of just listed, just sold.
I have an example for that too, one that just happened. So I was selling my mom's house down in Las Lunas, and she just posted the picture, that I had just listed or whatever. Somebody tagged somebody else on there, and then they asked if I could reach out to them to see if they could buy that property. Ended up reaching out to them, which the buyer's name was Malachi. Texted me, "Hey Henry, want to see if you can help me out. I'm only qualified for 175." You know what I mean? It's not the best price range, but wanted to try to get something. I was like, okay. And first thing I thought, I was like, okay, how are we gonna solve this problem? So I was thinking, okay, maybe that house in Las Lunas is in that target area program where it brings your rate down to 3.5%. So I checked with my lender. He's like, no, nothing in Las Lunas. So I was like, okay. So I checked my search that I have. There's one that just came back on market that day. It was on a Monday. Literally just came back on market. Looked it up, sent it to my lender. Hey, does this qualify? It was at 210. So I was like, hey, does it qualify? He's like, yep. I was like, can you call my buyer, see if he qualifies for it? He's only for 175 with this other lender. So he calls them over, and then they go through the numbers, stuff like that. They're like, yeah, we could qualify him up to 215. Ended up going, seeing that house that same night at 6 p.m., wrote the offer. He signed it at like 1 a.m. because he had to go to bed. Sent the offer at 6 a.m. the next day. Went in back and forth with another person who was in the same exact situation to where their interest rate went down, so it qualified him. So we went back for like 2 days, ended up getting the offer accepted, and he didn't have no extra money. So I literally had to reduce my commission all the way down to 0.5, which is something I want to do. Single dad, 2 kids. I was like, him getting this house was a lot more important than me making any kind of money, because he was being kicked by the side. Realtors didn't want to work with him just because of his pre-approval, which is hard. I don't blame him, which is hard, but it's all about solving this problem. So I remember he ended up texting me after we got under contract, Henry, this is probably the best feeling besides having my kids that I've ever had in my life. So him being able to send that over, I made a post about it, added him on Facebook, tagged him about the whole story that we went through. He reshared it on his page. I ended up getting a listing appointment. I sold the listing off market for $25K more than the other broker that she was trying to sell it with. So got that lady more money, and now she referred me to her daughter and her son that are getting pre-qualified right now. Just from that one post that took me like 3 minutes to write, ended up getting shared, had over 200 likes on his page, 200 likes on mine, probably 100 comments between both, ended up getting those, and I have like 3 other people in the pipeline just from sharing it. So me, risking it all by doing that low commission thing, plus creating the story and solution behind it and posting about that story that I just went through, created 3+ referrals just right there from people who are like, oh my God, that is so awesome, and then they're cheering him on because everybody loves a winning story.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because he was posting about it too, like through a period of time. I'm like, lost the offer, couldn't get it. So people were already following Malachi's story on his personal Facebook. So when they saw that he won, that's what got everybody like, hell yeah, you know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. And that's what goes with telling a story. Don't just, if I would have went pending, who do you think would have reached out to me if I just put pending? Nothing.
Nobody. You would have gotten nothing from that because there's no personal connection. There's no way for them to step into that story. It's like, okay, cool, that house is no longer on the market. I can't buy that one.
That's it.
I've been in real estate for 3 years now, and every single transaction has had a giant story to it of mine. So can you imagine, or I can't imagine how many stories a lot of us brokers that aren't as new as me, how many stories they have. There are so many stories. So if you share that story for every transaction, that's your content right there.
That's awesome content because, again, it's relatable. They can step into that story. You can show what you're doing without being real estate in their face, because you don't want to be real estate in their face all the time. A lot of your stuff, like you're posting stuff of your food, and you're posting places you've been and everything like that. They want to see other things other than just real estate, because guess what? At least 90% of the people that are following you are not in the market to buy or sell.
Yep. And the way that I categorize it is entertainment, inspiration, and education. Those are the three little boxes that I put my content in. So anytime I post something, it's in one of those boxes of entertainment, inspiration, or education. So if you could, that's my personal formula that I post stuff around.
And
You
it's
know
a
what I
great
mean?
formula.
Yes.
It's very similar to some of the other ones that are
That's excellent.
coaches and stuff put out there.
Yeah. So-
Real estate should be 1%, 2%, unless it's content where you're sharing a story.
But
Yeah.
it's important to make sure that everybody knows that you are a realtor. Even though I'm just eating at La Finca Bowls and I'm enjoying the awesome environment, that's Christian Manzer, who's a realtor,
Yep.
is doing that. So now everybody knows, oh, yeah, what does Christian do? Who's Christian? Oh, he's a realtor. And then that just indirectly added real estate into every single thing you did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't confuse your audience either, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it a million times, but when I say this is your TV show, you can make things as small as you want or as big as you want. Even when it comes to like, I see I've been seeing a lot more. I mean, even I did a whole freaking like 4-minute video on it, but even like switching companies, switching brokerages, really not that big of a deal. But if you make it a big deal, now you're creating a story behind it. Now people know that you switched the brokerage. Now you're saying like, hey guys, we have more tools at this brokerage to be able to service you in the best way possible with all of our technology and this and that. So I'm really excited to be able to step into this next adventure and service more of my people. You know what I mean? And when in reality, not really that big of a deal. You know what I mean? But to everybody else, you can make it big of a deal because it's your TV show. You could curate it as you want to. You know what I mean? So, and what I'm saying too is you could definitely make things seem bigger, but do not fabricate or lie. You know what I mean? Make it bigger, but do not fabricate or lie, because you will get caught in that lie and you'll lose your authenticity. So there's a fine line that you have to walk there. You know what I mean?
People do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And if you break that trust, you're done.
You're done. You're blocked.
Market
Spam.
spam. Yeah.
Spam. Yep.
Whoa.
Awesome. Great stuff. Video is obviously the biggest takeaway, what it sounds like today, guys. So make sure you are doing video. You have all the tools right in your pocket. That phone is one of the most powerful tools you can have, and just spending a few minutes each day or each week to just plan out a couple videos and just make them and be unafraid, be confident, and just put them out there is the idea. And to do it on the different social networks and find the things that work for you, the networks that work for you to start putting yourself out there and tell your story. That's one of the biggest things to me is I teach another marketing class called Tell Your Story with Technology, Tell Your Story with Tech. And it's a super cool class that, it's just about being you and talking about your journey and the things you like to do. And through that, you're building yourself and marketing yourself. So it's very cool. Super glad to have you guys on. We got some time. I see we do have some questions from the audience, and we will do some unmuting. But any final thoughts before we jump into the Q&A, guys?
I think you should just start. Just start and jump off and just try it out, and you'll learn what you like doing, what you don't like doing. You'll see engagement on certain things and non-engagement on other things, and nobody can go run a 10K just out of the bat. They have to practice for it. They have to do it. They have to experience it. They have to do it every day. So social media, same thing.
Yep.
You just have to do it and keep going.
Yeah. I mean, start, but if you have a hard time starting, reach out for help. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing, is reach out for help right now and realize, guys, this is such an important thing. If you can commit to it, I swear on everything that it's going to be so beneficial for your business. And trust me, the community that you build online, that will last a very long time, and that will be so tight-knit. It will be absolutely amazing and beneficial for you to commit 2 hours a week to it.
Yeah, and that's really all it takes. I mean, you don't have to spend 2 hours a day or 10 hours a day on social media. Just because you spend a lot of time scrolling doesn't mean that you're actually doing any real work on it.
Yeah. Preach.
Get started on social media. Social media is the new door knocking. It's the new postcard mailers. You still do a lot of that stuff, but you can be in somebody's face every day without being in their face every day. You know what I mean? And it's the only medium that's out there that you can do that and keep your brand top of mind.
All right, let's jump into these questions. We got 2 in the chat we'll get to first. Peggy asks about LinkedIn. She's seen more realtors post content on LinkedIn. Has that site become more important than it used to be? Question mark.
What I've seen LinkedIn become more successful at, actually had a training on this in New York. It's a lot more relevant in bigger cities. Really, honestly, not here, but like more corporate-based cities is very beneficial, and there's a lot of market share to be taken on LinkedIn. But hyper locally here, I don't personally see it as something too beneficial to spend time on.
It's interesting because Pete always talks about your demographic, which is awesome, and the demographic on LinkedIn is a lot different. I connect with a certain demographic, like my sphere, my circle on Facebook. On Instagram, it's a little bit bigger. On LinkedIn, this is where I have a lot of my realtors. It's a professional networking site. So, am I actively trying to get listings and buyers and everything from LinkedIn? Not really, but I want to make sure that my circle on there knows who I am. I've seen some people get like investor clients and stuff like that, and market yourself to other brokers and brokerages. So it's a little bit different, but I still think you can be on it without having a goal to find clients on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would definitely say that I have a presence on most social media networks. I repurpose a lot of my content across everything. I focus on Instagram, but I have a presence there. And so it is definitely much more of a professional network. There's a lot. It's interesting because LinkedIn is, people are almost expecting to be sold to there. Whereas, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, they're there for entertainment value.
Yep.
Try it. If it works for you, great. If your demographic and your target market is that more professional, and they have a LinkedIn profile and they're scrolling LinkedIn, then be there. I'm a big proponent of being wherever your target market is. If your target market is on Twitter, then spend your time on Twitter.
Yeah, Christian. So we'll jump to the next question from Anita. This is off something I said earlier. She said, curious about using tags, Ron. Can you expand on that? Hashtags. So hashtags are basically subjects or content category. Yeah, category. We'll just call it a category, I guess. That's the way to sum it up. And
it's a way to define what your content's about.
Exactly. So let's say you want to see posts about real estate. If you tap on the real estate hashtag, you're going to see hundreds of millions of posts about real estate. And people from that community are going to engage with what is posted under there. Usually you can, I have a note in my phone where I post on Instagram, and I manage social media for a few different companies. So I have real estate here. I have, hotel here, restaurant here. And I just copy and paste the same hashtags every time. And immediately when you do the post, you start getting engagement from those hashtags. Couple rules. Facebook, I would say maybe 2 or 3 hashtags. Facebook is not a big hashtag platform. And Instagram, no more than 29, 30 hashtags. After you put 30 hashtags, Instagram gets a little froggy, and it'll just do your posts without any text or hashtags on it.
You're trying to spam at that point.
Exactly. But using a wrong way to use a hashtag, to clarify the question, is I'm the best NM Realtor 505. Look at that hashtag. You're probably going to be the only person engaging in that hashtag. Yeah. You want to use hashtags that are being engaged with. So by doing a simple search on the platform you're using it on, you can see how many people are engaging those hashtags. So you got to remember, you only got 30 spots on Instagram. So make sure that every one of those hashtags that you choose has good engagement and is providing value to your post.
And is relevant to your
post. And is relevant to your post. Absolutely.
Yeah,
like if you go to the
avocado.
you're gonna see a bunch of weird
Not
avocados.
On a
necessarily
property tour.
important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Unless your food has avocado in it.
Yeah.
avocado toast. I heard you millennials like that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
I like hashtags and I use them. And so, for example, this is how I use them. I will absolutely do the tag. So if I'm, for example, posting something local, I'm at a restaurant, I'm going to do hashtag Albuquerque, New Mexico. We have some local ones like NM True, One Albuquerque. And now, as a realtor, if you're really focusing on building your brand, I also have a hashtag that I add personally to all of my stuff. So, for example, this isn't what it is. You'll just have to go to my Instagram to see. But hashtag Christian Manzer, and if I added that on everything, Instagram, Facebook, they learn what you like and they learn what you engage with. So, if, for example, somebody from my sphere lives out of state is liking my stuff, the social media is going to know, like, oh, Christian or this person, he likes a lot of New Mexico stuff, hashtag New Mexico stuff, hashtag this stuff, and hashtag Christian Manzer stuff. So now, organically, my stuff may show up on their stuff a little bit more. The algorithm will say, like, oh, he likes hashtag Christian Manzer stuff. So something to think about. It's not bad to not use hashtags. It's not bad to use hashtags, but I think it's a good tool in the many tools you can use in social media.
Yeah. Absolutely.
More info on hashtags, fellas.
It's just another tool. I wouldn't spend too much time on it, honestly. Like, it's just it's something that you implement, but it's not the biggest piece of the pie.
It's a more advanced strategy. If you really want to dive into doing hashtag research and doing all that stuff, I would just start posting first, and the algorithms are 100
They
times
hear you
better
over your
than what
words.
they used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're smart.
And they're going to put you in front of the people that they think is going to most likely engage with your content.
The mighty algorithm.
Yeah.
And one more chat question, then we'll jump to in-person questions. Do you guys think spending time creating content for TikTok is a good idea for our industry right now? Good question, Bria.
Absolutely.
TikTok, guys. Go, Christian.
Absolutely. The cool thing is you can reuse a lot of content. So one thing that we mentioned earlier, there's a thing called short form vertical video, and that's everybody has their phone and it looks like this and it's vertical, and humans, we have an attention span that's like this big, so the shorter the video, the better. And so TikTok is a form of that. Instagram Reels is a form of that, and so you can purpose your content a little bit across different things. But I definitely think that TikTok is something that if you're on Instagram doing Reels, you should use it as well. There's not too many brokers that use TikTok, a good amount, but not as much as Instagram, it seems to be.
Yeah, there's a wave right now. I do have a case study for TikTok. I've always been super hesitant on TikTok just because of the longevity of it. I mean, getting into political, like, they actually might shut it down. You know what I mean? So it's like you want to commit to something that's not going to be here for a very long time. And with a broker at my brokerage, he does amazing on TikTok, and actually a lot of people are copying him. But not one single deal. He has like over 100,000 likes. Like, you're getting a lot of vanity from it, a lot of views and stuff like that. But the demographic of people that are trying to buy a house are typically not on TikTok here, because TikTok's super hyper local. You probably do that in Phoenix, you're gonna kill it. But I'm thinking specifically here, I haven't seen no success on my end. It could be different for you, Christian, but I've seen him pop off. Not one single deal, just a bunch of tire kickers and people that aren't willing to like commit. They're like, get excited about seeing the property, you know what I mean, because a short attention span gets them really excited, and then you try to follow through with them, they're going straight into silence. So I tried TikTok out for a little bit. People are like, oh, I see you, this and that. Same kind of ideology as Instagram, but really no business coming from it, you know what I mean?
On TikTok specifically, something to add, Instagram shares, Instagram, the algorithm works towards your followers and stuff like that, who you follow, who you interact with. TikTok is not the case. TikTok is worldwide, nationwide, based on your interests. So if I'm posting house tours on TikTok, the majority of the people interacting and following aren't here from Albuquerque. They're nationwide people who are interested in that. So that could be a big reason why, production's a lot less, because you're not getting Albuquerque buyers. You're getting, United States of America buyers.
Yeah.
And
Who may be looking to move to Albuquerque.
right.
And so there are people in Albuquerque who are seeing success on TikTok. I think it's the outliers at the moment. Again, going back to everything I said, it's all about knowing where your target market is hanging out and being on that platform. And so if your target market's on TikTok, hang out on TikTok.
Which is tough. I pulled some data recently of some demographics on TikTok, and like their core audience is age 13 to 25.
Exactly.
So,
Which
how
is the
many
problem.
13-year-olds are buying real estate?
You get a lot of 13-year-olds roasting you too on there. You
Yeah.
post
Yeah.
one thing and
I've
they're
been
like just
roasted on
roasting
there.
you hardcore.
Yeah.
I can't handle that. It's like cold calling.
Excellent. So TikTok,
They're the
again,
worst.
just like the other social media, you got to decide if it's worth it for you.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Another question. Peggy has a question about AI. I don't think AI is in a place where it's kind of ready. And again, AI, that's just going to defeat the point of authenticity, and that was one of the big things we talked about today. Sure, you can use AI to streamline some things. Like, I don't know, one of the big things I've heard about it in real estate, it's going to write your home descriptions for you, but still not, there. So again, I don't think AI is to a point where,
It's moving fast.
It's moving fast,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's
But
to a
it's
point
not there
where,
yet.
Yeah.
It can definitely help you with some content creation, with ideas and stuff like that. But you still need that human element. You still need to have that final say. You can't just use AI to create all your content for you. I'm not familiar with whatever it is that you're referencing there first.
I'm going to Google it later.
Yeah. Or Peggy, could you unmute and expand on what first is?
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's provided by Remax, but it might be for others too. But they're using AI to notify you when people on your sphere are, someone's having a baby or someone's parents need to go into assisted living. And I'm wondering, is that kind of like spying on them or what? It's like it brings, and I don't pay for First, I'm just considering it. But I just wonder, would people think it's kind of like, well, how did you know my, parents need to move into assisted living and sell a house?
Well, you definitely
That's
don't
what
want
I'm wanting to know with you guys, like, have you heard about that, and what do you think of that?
You definitely don't want to be creepy about it. That's for sure.
No.
But there's a ton of stuff you can do with AI when it comes to data analysis and data being prepared for stuff. There's another company out there, I think it's called Likely.ai, where they take a ton of data points, and using AI, they can determine with a high probability who in your sphere is likely to move. So you can
That's wild.
reach out.
Yeah.
As long as you're not saying, "Hey, I know from AI that
The bot
you're about to
says.
move." The bot says that you're looking to move. If you just naturally reach out to them, prioritize them.
Send them a little postcard or something.
Yeah.
And not be creepy about it. I think that it's a great
Don't think about
tool that you can use.
And
Yeah.
I just didn't know if any of you guys have used AI, what you think about it, as far as that. I know it can write contact us. That's not what I was thinking of.
Okay.
I was thinking of how it can spy on your sphere and let you know who's ready to move.
I'm very pro AI and that whole movement going on right now, just because if we're able to systemize a lot of stuff to you make it more efficient for in-person stuff or getting more business, I'm all for it. Like the AIs that automatically text, old leads and try to pre-qualify them and stuff like that. There's AI that my friend Dusty uses to set appointments with people. So somebody will message him on email and they respond, "Hey, I think it's Clara, can you set up an appointment?" It will have full-on conversations with people and set up the appointment, check the calendar for them, give them like a GPS timing on how long it will take to get to the appointment, work with their schedule, and is able to talk to them. Because inevitably, we're all going to be engulfed in this, just like social media. It's going to be something that we're going to have to use, so you might as well figure it out now so you're not, trying to catch up later in the future. Because one thing that I saw with ChatGPT, so it was a study. It was basically like Google took, I think, what was it, like 5 years for 200 million people to get on it or something of that sort. And then Facebook took about 3 years for 200 million people to get on there. TikTok took 6 months for 200 million people to get on there. ChatGPT took less than 2 months for 200 million people to get on it. So it just goes to show you the exponential speed that all this stuff has, and it's super confusing right now for everybody. But if you could deep dive into it to fix some part of your business that can be automated, which every other company in the world is doing right now. They're going to start automating things. Why aren't we going to do that? You don't want to be working day and night. This is your business. You want to delegate everything possible as you can. If it takes away a little bit of the human aspect, like Julian said, then back up from it, because that's what makes us us. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to keep, honestly, like from Zillow and them taking our positions too, is the human aspect is the most golden nugget that we have. But if you could automate the side stuff, like reaching out to old leads, freaking do it. Put them on that little text thing. You know what I mean?
I agree. And it's shocking how much AI we already use. Like,
Yeah.
social media is basically AI. Our CRMs, all of our systems, it's all AI. Just
Google
in
is
a
AI.
yeah, Google, everything's AI in a smaller sense. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what stuff keeps
And
improving
scared.
and changing in.
Super excited. We're open for more questions. Feel free to unmute yourself and just shoot. I guess they just like staring at us, guys.
Yeah.
I see Lobo Joe in there.
Lobo Joe, he said, drop your Instagram handle. He'll follow you. Excellent. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We had some great conversations today about, marketing and what you can do to really just kick it up a notch. Biggest takeaways from you were, just being authentic, getting out there, shooting the video. Henry said, shoot it once and post it.
Do it.
So do it. Don't hesitate. Because if you keep doing take after take after take, you're going to just say, nah, this is not worth it. So, just get out there, sell some real estate by posting videos, tell your story online on social media, and just find what platforms work best for you. So that is it, guys. We appreciate you all tuning in. We appreciate our panelists. Thank you guys for stopping by and hanging out with us. If you have any questions about the program or want to learn more about what's going on here at GAR, then just visit gar.com and you will see our blog there, posted by our awesome marketing and communications team. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Again, thank you.
Should drop our Instagram handles. What is yours?
Drop them.
Mine's Christian Mountain RE for Christian Mountain Real Estate
On Instagram.
on Instagram and Facebook.
Mine is Henry, the Realtor Dude on Instagram. And like I mentioned before, guys, if you need help, honestly, you could reach out to any of us. It's a freaking scary feat, scary mountain to try to climb by yourself. So just reach out. We'll help you out, guys. It's a lot more simpler than we make it out to be. But, don't get paralysis by analysis. Just freaking do it.
Yeah. Mine's at Servant360. No matter where you are, you'll see me.
Awesome. And here at GAR, we're ABQ Realtors on Instagram and Facebook. But thank you again so much, all, for tuning in. We appreciate it. And we are signing off here at GAR. Talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
See ya.